Oh, morning everyone. I figured I'd just do kind of a recording on my morning walk. It's been a while since I uploaded a video, so I figured I'd do that. Anyway, the topic I've got to cover today, I'm going to cover kind of how I'm initially planning to set up my off-season training. And so basically I'm just starting to think about what I want my off season to look like. I'm planning on a 2-year off season, primarily focused on local strongman competing. I'm not trying to do any national or traveling shows, so basically North Carolina or maybe like West Virginia or anything I don't have to stay at a hotel at, that I can just kind of manage to drive in the morning, or maybe split a hotel with someone. Anyway, so it'll be a little bit of focus on that. But the primary thing I'm going to shoot for is to work on bringing up my bodybuilding weak spots. Also, if I have a weird kind of a lisp or whatever, it's because my lips are close to numb. I've been walking for about 40 minutes in freezing temps, so my face is moving a little bit slow. But yeah, anyway, so I really want to focus on my lagging body parts in a bodybuilding kind of context, which is going to just be upper body mass in general. So I need to widen my shoulders. I need to add quite a bit of chest and arm mass. So I'm basically going to be running several 14-week hypertrophy-focused specialization blocks, where my volume and frequency is skewed a little bit more towards arm development and chest development, with my legs being pretty much at maintenance volumes and intensities. So basically a couple sets of high-ish intensity volume, high-ish intensity at kind of low volumes for lower body. That way I can generally maintain it. There's pretty good evidence that I don't have to do much to maintain lower body or muscles in general. So that'll be where that's set at. Probably one time per week, one to 1.5, one to 2 roughly. And then, but for shoulders and chest and arms, I'm generally shooting for roughly 3 times per week. And it'll vary for body part. And the split will be kind of complicated to make that all work. It'll be kind of like an upper lower, full body kind of split sort of thing. Full body actually being just strongman day. And strongman training will essentially be just training out in the way, which is Greg's driveway. And that'll just be basically exposure to heavy loads to maintain strength, or maybe develop a little bit during my off season as well. And that'll just be so I can, have fun at local comps like Greg Popejoy's shows or James's shows. Anything I'm not lifting at, I'll be volunteering at in some way. Either a spreadsheet guy or a judge or a loader or a scribe or something like that. But anyway, more specifics on the off-season training. So it's 14-week hypertrophy blocks. Then I'm going to do a couple of 4 weeks in between each of those blocks with a strength focus. So where I greatly reduce volume and significantly increase my intensities. And one, to resensitize to hypertrophy work, and 2, to kind of focus on strongman stuff a little bit more. And yeah, the 14-week hypertrophy blocks themselves will be 6 weeks of accumulation, a deload, 6 weeks of accumulation, and a deload. And then that's when I move on to 4 weeks of strength work before I repeat kind of the hypertrophy design again, which will be somewhat variable. I'll change the specialization a little bit. Maybe one of those blocks will be more chest, one of those blocks will be heavy on the deltoids and arms or something like that. We'll see how it goes. That part isn't too important to try to plan in too much detail at this juncture, just because it's too early. Things change. The other thing I want to make sure I continue to develop is glutes. Glutes are, important for bodybuilding. The more mass you have there, the less lean you have to get to for those striations to develop. So continuing to add tissue there will make each season a little bit easier to first develop the striations there. So the level of lean I have to get to start competing or to start looking like I'm about stage ready will progressively reduce. But I always want to finish my season off with being as absolutely shredded as possible. I want to bring world-class physique to my middle and last shows every time I compete, or every season, and which I plan to do every 2 years. So all that programming is for the first year. Post-show, so November 19th, going forward, I plan to gain back to 150. I'm roughly 135, and I want to gain back to about 150 as pretty rapidly. Maybe gain a pound and a half or a pound a week, up until I go from 135 to 145 to 150, wherever I feel comfortable there. And then at that point, I'm gonna do mostly a quarter a pound or 0.2 pounds, a fifth, I guess, a week until I get all the way up to about 160, 165. That's kind of my end goal. That might take about a year of gaining, or a year and a quarter. And I'll be doing that for about a year and a half before I start prep again, to just kind of lean down and get ready for my next bodybuilding season. But 2023 is primarily just off-season gaining, local competition, focusing on work and the family. And then 2024 will be a little bit more of that off-season and finishing off the year with another bodybuilding season like I have right now. So, but those will be mostly pro shows, shooting for bigger ones, and for other local ones with, payouts. That would be cool. Maybe pay for my hobby, with my hobby a little bit. But that's it.